Hey Alex, this is Irene. I'm gonna go over step by step on how to do the Excel and the Google Doc. So first, just pull up the email that I sent you with all the links, and I'm gonna start with the project one first. So when you click on that, you should be getting this page right here. And what you do is you just export the file, click on it, you open it up. Yes, you click yes. Okay, so what I usually do just for organizational sake is that I just delete everything that you don't need. So the opportunity name, the project title, all this stuff you don't need. So I just delete it. Just so that I don't have like extra things to look at and it's just less confusing for me. I usually do this one at a time, so I do projects first and then recommendations and stuff like that. So I just delete things I don't need, just do it one at a time. So basically for projects is that you sort it by partnership site. So if you're doing the Bay Area, you just go by Bay Area. And then this is when you have to sort it by the actual project. So when you go on the file right here, let's see, the Google Doc, I don't know why it takes so long to load, but that's when you sort it by each one. You'll probably see things like visiting and pilot. I'm not exactly sure what they fit into or fall under to because they were just recently added, so I don't include it, but you should double check. So what I usually do is that I usually go across the Google Doc. So I usually start with GSF, then the year long, and then AF. Whichever works is how you go about it, but that's what I usually do. So I would just go back to the file. I sorted by the summer partnership, which is the GSF. And I just like to do it by alphabetical order just to be organized. It just helps me to look at it. So as you can see from here, there's some names that you do have to change, like KIP Foundation has to be just KIP. On the Excel file, you would notice like some names that you do have to change, but on the Google Doc, there's a list that somewhere. There's a list. They will tell you which ones you have to change to certain names and make sure that you change them because they won't show up in the Google Doc. And I'm not sure where it is actually. Hold on. I can send you those. I'm not exactly sure where they are right now. They're somewhere in the file. So that's one of them you do have to change. Ed West to just Ed Trust. This is what I was talking about with my organization is not listed. What I usually do is that I have most of them already listed in the Google Doc. So since I put them in alphabetical order, I go to the projects. And since this is also alphabetical order, I usually just match it up because I really looked it up so many times to the point where it's going to be the same one because they usually don't change. But sometimes you do have new ones too, so you do have to look it up. But these are the ones that I've been looking at consistently, and I already know that it's gonna be the same one. So for this one, for my organization, it's not listed. If you look above New Schools Venture Fund, you will notice that it's beyond business because this is the only one that's not alphabetical order, and it's between these two. I looked it up so many times to the point where I kind of already knew like which one is gonna be, so I just double check. But for you to check, you will have to go to Salesforce. You just type in right here, my organization is not listed. Click enter, and you do have to notice that where it's from. So here, this is from the Bay Area. So you have to go to opportunities, and you have to look up 2014 Bay Area. So it's right here. And just click on it. And you have to notice that it's a summer fellowship type. So when you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you notice that there's two project informations, and the one that we're looking at is a summer fellowship type. So it's right here, summer fellowship project information. So you click on program director, And then you scroll down to partner details. And you notice that it says my organization is not listed. But the name of the organization is Beyond Business right here. So this is the name that you take. So hopefully showing this was helpful. I'm not sure if me explaining it was, if you understood it or not, but hopefully this clarifies any information that you need help with. And if you need me to clarify any more or go through the steps again, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to go through. But this is how you're gonna look for my organization's not listed. And most of the times you may sometimes find one or two, sometimes you may find a bunch of them, but as of right now, I found the ones that I have found should be there. If you can match it up, it'll save you time, but if you want to double check to make sure that it's not the new one that I didn't add, that's how you do it. And basically you just copy and paste this entire account name, and then you paste it in the file, the Google Doc. So you just take this entire row and you just paste it in, and you do it for year long, and then the analyst, and then you just do it for each city. And what I do have to mention is that New York includes multiple states. So it includes New Jersey, all the cities in New Jersey, all the cities in Connecticut, New York City, and Pennsylvania. So that's the only state where you have to pay most attention to, and because it includes many states. One other state city is Chicago. They include Detroit, Michigan into Chicago. So usually Detroit only has one or two, like a very small number amount, but you have to include it with Chicago. So you have to include it with GSF, year long, and analysis. Those are the two states where you have to play around with, because it's more than one you have to include. So it's not just New York and it's not just Chicago. You have to make sure that you have to include other things as well. I can email this as another reminder. It takes a while to remember to get used to. So this is just for projects only. So this is just for projects, and in terms of, let's see, the meetings with an ask, you have to actually go to each city one by one and do it, because there's no file that compiles it. So what you have to do is make sure that you're on the Education Pioneers view, which is to your right. Just click on it. Go to reports, and right here you just type in 2014 meetings, and you notice that all the cities pop up. So what you have to do is that each city, for example, I like to cite in alphabetical order, which is, where's Bay? Bay right here. So you just click on it. The thing about meetings with an ask is that they don't have the account name. And the account name is important, otherwise all the names will show up with the partnership next to it. So this is what I mean. And you don't want to do this for all the cities because it takes a while to edit them. So there's no account name. This is the only name you have. So if you don't have the account name, you have to go through each of them and edit, take out the 2014 San Francisco Bay Area part, which is not ideal for you. So this is the part I was talking about, where you have to go back, make sure for every city you go to customize. If you go to your left, just type in account name and you just drag it over, run the report. You have to do this each time for each city. So when you click export, just do it again, click on it, open up the file. You have the account name right here. So what I do is I just delete all the information I don't need, which is all of this. Delete opportunity name because you already have the account name. You don't really need that, but what I usually do, I just sort for alphabetical order again, copy and paste it into the Excel file. Just make sure that some names you do have to change because that's not the one that they want you to use. I can, again, I'll send you that. It's somewhere in the Google Doc I couldn't find at the moment. We just copy and paste this all into the Bay Area meetings with an ask. So you just copy it into meetings with an ask, and then you just paste it in for each city. Again, for New York, you have to include New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut, and then Chicago, you have to include Detroit, Michigan. Oh, it's right here, actually. To your left, to your right, actually. These are the ones you have to replace. Make sure that, because otherwise it won't show up, and then your numbers won't be correct. So that's for the meetings with an ask and project. And then for recommendations, it's very similar. You have to go to Salesforce. Actually, no, I sent you the links. So go back to the email. So for recommended, you have to include both recommended and confirmed. This is, let's see, export details again. So recommendation columns includes both recommended and confirmed. Confirmed column only includes confirmed. So do not include recommendations in the confirms column. So you just open it up. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, so what I do is I just delete the ones information I don't need, so I don't get confused. Let's see. Okay, so from here I sorted by the cities. I like to go alphabetical order again, so start with Bay Area. You should go, let's see. You should go down and make sure that, you know, there's like year-longs and summer projects. I usually just start with summer projects, so you just sort by summer projects. I sort by alphabetical order. I just copy and paste this into the Google Doc under GSF right here, and then you do the same thing for year long, and then you make sure you change the names that the ones are matching. So you just basically do this for each city, and then again for New York you have to make sure that includes New Jersey, Connecticut. Basically you apply the same rules as you did for the meetings with an ask and projects to the recommendations. It's pretty much the same thing. You do it for confirmed as well. So you do the same thing for each GSF, year long, and AF. AF is something that was just recently started, so AF you're not going to get that much for. So again, I can send you all the links to, I don't think I sent you AF, but I'll send you AF as well. And basically you just do this about, I think I had to do meetings with an ask and projects once a week, and then recommendations and confirmations I have to do it every 2 days. That's pretty much what you have to do, and just, you know, make sure you don't remember certain things. And if you have any questions, I hope that this was helpful for you. I'd be more than happy to make another video if you need clarifications, but other than that, that's pretty much it. You should bookmark the links that I sent you so that you don't have to keep finding them. Hopefully that will be helpful for you, and best of luck.